Hi, Movie Explained here. Today I am going to explain the American post-apocalyptic action film called After Earth. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The premise of the movie is set for in the future when the Earth has become uninhabitable for humans. Humans have to find another planet to settle upon. This is when the organization called the United Ranger Corps is founded. The United Ranger Corps is a global military effort in the evacuation of the Earth. The Rangers led the settlement of mankind's new home, called Nova Prime. The exodus ends when humanity settles on a new planet called Nova Prime. The only problem is that the planet has already been living on it. The natives of the Nova Prime release a monstrous creature called the Ursas to get rid of the human settlers. The Ursas are technically blind, but they can detect humans by sensing the pheromones that the human brain releases when they are scared. The creatures can literally smell fear in humans and attack. Because of them, humankind is again in danger of extinction. 1000 years later, the rangers who had helped humans to evacuate the earth find a way to defeat the Ursas. The Prime Commander Cypher Rake creates a technique called ghosting, where he can fearlessly battle with the Ursas, making himself practically invincible to them. Using this technique, the Rangers defeat the Ursas and leave on Nova Prime peacefully. The scene cuts to some teenagers training to become Rangers in the human settlement of Nova Prime. One of the ambitious teen is Commander Cypher's son, Keithai. Keithai's elder sister Sensei was killed while trying to save him from an Ursa, so he trained every day to become a Ranger and fight them. On the evaluation day, the evaluator commander tells Keithai that his test scores are impressive, but his field activity is average, hence he is not selected as a Ranger. Keithai retaliates, but Commander dismisses the conversation. In the following scene, we see that the Prime Commander, Cypher family arrive home after his expedition to another planet. He meets his wife Fifa and greets her. At night, the family is having dinner. When Cypher asks Kitai about his training, Kitai replies that he hasn't been selected as Ranger and Cypher simply asks him to try harder. Kitai rudely gets up from his table, making Cypher yell at him to sit back down. After dinner, Cypher tells Fifa that he is leaving for his last voyage to Ephesus and to train some rangers. He plans to retire after his trip. Fifa asks him to take Kitai with him so he could learn how to be a ranger. She variously reveals that Kita blames himself for his elder sister Sensei's death. The following day, Cypher and Kitai prepare to leave for the expedition. Before they leave, Cypher is approached by a ranger who lost one of his legs in the battle. The ranger thanks Cypher for saving his life and gets on his foot to salute him. Kitai watches the commotion in fascination, admiring how the other rangers respect his father. The rangers are also lifting a captured Ursa in their ship to use in training. Everyone boards the spaceship and it finally takes off. Halfway in their trip, Cypher asks Kitai to strap in and take a rest like the others. But because of the uncomfortable seat, he doesn't fall asleep, so goes to the restricted area where the Ursa is kept. He is then stopped by a ranger who makes fun of him being intrusive. A group of rangers allowed to go to near a stained Ursa to see if he is fearless like his father, but the Ursa smells Kitai fear and growls. Just then, Cypher wakes up and checks the gravitational force in the ship using a technology fitted in his ring. He notices something is off and orders the ranger to secure all cargo. Kitai goes back to his seat and straps himself in. Cypher then asks the pilot about the nearest asteroid shower. At first, the pilots do not detect one, but as time passes, they notice a heavy asteroid shower coming their way. It hits the ship, making it strike aggressively and causing some serious damage to it. The rangers start to panic, and the only one strapped in is Kitai. He hyperventilates, scared of what is going to happen. Cypher orders the pilot to travel to the wormhole, and they finally reach outside the asteroid shower. However, the ship is heavily damaged and cannot go on for a long time. So they must land to the nearest planet suitable for humans. While searching for their old home, because the Earth has become Class 1 quarantined planet after Earth departure, but has no other way out. As the ship falls on the Earth's surface at an uncontrollable speed, Cypher approaches his son and calms him down. Kitai gains vision of the time they were attacked by an Ursa and his sister Sensei was killed. Just then, the ship starts to break, causing everyone around Kitai to fall out of it. At last, Kitai falls unconscious and crash lands on the surface of the Earth. Humans have returned to Earth after 1,000 years. After a while, he wakes up and looks around to find the dead bodies of fellow rangers. He also sees his father lying limp on the ground and hugs him. To Kitai's surprise, Cypher gains consciousness and greets him, but both of his legs are seriously injured, making it impossible for him to stand up. Cypher asks him how many people have survived, only to find out that everyone except for them is dead. Moreover, the rear part of the ship is absent, missing, that the captured Ursa has landed somewhere else. Cypher believes that the creature might be laid from the impact, but still asks Kaita to be careful. Cypher makes Kaita to get an emergency beacon that can be used to send signals to a rescue group in Prime Nova, but they are disappointed to see that the beacon is fully damaged. Then Kaita takes Cypher to the control panel, which is still working. From there, Cypher finds out the location of the second beacon that is in the tail section of the ship. A hologram shows that the second beacon is landed 100 kilometers away from their current location. Without the beacon, they can never able to get back home, so they will have to retrieve it. But since Cypher is not in a condition to walk, Kitai will have to do it himself. Cypher warns him about the creatures on the earth who have evolved to kill humans in the past 1,000 years. The journey will not be easy for Kitai, but Cypher will be watching him and his trails from the control panel at all times. Cypher gives Kitai his weapon, a wrist communicator, and 6 capsules of fuel that enhances the oxygen intake so you can breathe in Earth's low oxygen atmosphere. He asks Kitai to take the capsules in regular intervals and sets him off his journey. Starting his journey, Kitai climbs a slopey hill and reaches top. There he is fascinated to see several lives on the earth. The earth has now become violent thermal shifts because of which the nights are too cold to handle. Hence, Cypher advised Kitai to reach hot spots caused by the geothermal energy every night to keep himself warm. After that, Cypher checks the condition of his legs and sees that they are severely damaged. He takes a painkiller for the moment, which makes him go hazy. By midday, Kitai reaches the forest when Cypher notices a creature approaching him from the monitor. He informs Kitai of the creature and asks him to stay put. The animal turns out to be an evolved violent monkey. Kitai gets scared and throws a rock at the animal, attacking a group of animals who chase him. A worried Cypher gives him the directions as Kitai runs for his life. The monkeys leave him after he jumps into a river. Kitai finally stops running and finds a poisonous leech stuck to him. He hurriedly removes the parasite, but the creature has already left his venom in his body. Kitai starts to lose his vision and his body stops moving. Cypher orders him to get an antidote from the medical kit. Kitai injects the dose and falls unconscious right after a while. Cypher wakes Kitai up saying that the temperature is dropping rapidly as night approaches. He will have to get a hot shot quickly if he doesn't want to freeze to death. Kitai wakes up, completely healed from the leech's poison, and makes his way forward. Meanwhile, Cypher performs a make-do surgery on his legs to make them better, but he knows that he doesn't have much time left. At the moment, he reminisces about the time he wished his daughter a happy birthday before her death. A while later, Kitai finally arrives at the first hotspot. He checks his equipment for the day and sees that 2 capsules of liquid that enhance his oxygen level are destroyed. This means he will have to reach his destination sooner. Knowing that, Cypher will ask him to return if he finds out about the broken vitals. Kitai says everything is intact. At night, Kitai asks Cypher how he discovered the ghosting technique for the first time. Cypher tells him that he was going on a run when an Ursa appeared right in front of him. A scared Cypher froze and Ursa shot his pincher right through Cypher's shoulder, making both of them fall into the river on the cliff. At the bottom of the river, the Ursa remained on top of Cypher, trying to drown him. At the moment, Cypher accepted his death and wasn't scared anymore. Because of this, the Ursa couldn't sense him and he was able to kill it. Kitai falls asleep listening to the story. The following day, he continues his journey halfway through the city. Cypher starts to notice hints of the presence of Ursa in the area. Kitai reaches a tall waterfall which he has to cross to reach the destination. Cypher asks him to check the supplies and is disappointed to see that he has only 2 vials of liquid oxygen left. Embarrassed, Kitai says that he can make it in the tail with just two. But Cypher asks him to abort the mission. Right then, Kitai gets a flashback of the day his sister Sensei died, and Ursa has attacked their home, and like always, Cypher was on a mission somewhere else. To save her brother's life, Sensei had kept him inside a glass sphere. From the Ursa couldn't spell his sphere. That day, Kitai witnessed his sister getting killed in front of him, and to his date, he blames himself for it. Back in the present, Kitai argues with Cypher, claiming that he is not a coward. Cypher tries to calm him, but in the moment of rage, Kitai jumps off the cliff. He uses his suit to guide the direction of his fall. Just then, he thinks that he can make it to the bottom. A large bird attacks him and breaks his communicator. Now, Cypher has no way to contact Kitai. A while later, Kitai wakes up in the bird's nest surrounded by his chicks. Before he can get out, all of them are attacked by a group of panthers. The mother bird fights one at the top of the nest while Kitai fights a panther inside it. By the end of the fight, all of the birds of the nest chicks are dead, As he tries to revive them in frustration, Kitai runs away from the place. Meanwhile, Cypher tries to take look for Kitai through his satellite monitors, but instead finds two rangers and impaled to a tree. The system detects the presence of an Ursa in the area. Unknown to this, Kita takes rest in a cave for the night without his father navigating the way. He has to rely on his memory to reach the tail of the ship. He draws a map on the wall and decides to follow it. The next morning, he continues the journey but is troubled by the same bird following him everywhere. At midday, he has a hard time breathing, so he takes his last well of oxygen. Then to reach the tail sooner, he pulls it off from blocks and continues the journey. After some time, Kitai falls asleep and dreams of his sister telling him that he is close to the destination. He wakes up right before the temperature fluctuation starts and goes around looking for the hotspot. However, without Cypher's help, he is unable to find one. The temperature drops extremely low and everything around him freezes. Soon, Kitai drops unconscious on the ground and we see him drag him to a warm, safe corner. Kitai wakes up the following morning to see that the bird saved his life. It has covered him with leaves and twigs, treating him as his cheeks. Kitai thanks the bird but notices it is already dead. However, with no time to waste, he moves forward and finally finds the tail of the ship. He finds a vial of oxygen liquid and quickly takes it, which reactivates him to some extent. Then sees the Asa is missing from where it is supposed to be. Kitai gets the beacon and contacts Cypher using the panel in the tail. Cypher, who is only somewhat conscious, is delighted to see his son alive. However, Kitai cannot hear him because of some technical issue. Kitai then tries to use the beacon but it doesn't work due to atmospheric interference. Cypher asks him to try from a different location, but since Kitai cannot hear him, he only just remains frustrated. But after a while, Kitai sees a volcano nearby and tries to use it from the beacon from the top of it. However, trouble soon follows when the lost Ursa tracks Kitai and senses his fear. Cypher sees this from the monitor and is worried from him. Kitai, on the other hand, finds out about the creature is following him and starts to run. The Ursa attacks Kitai but he manages to save himself after jumping into a water body and going up the mountain. Just then, the temperature starts to lower which freezes Kitai, making him fall to the ground. At the same time, Cypher also falls unconscious because of his injuries. The Ursa approaches Kitai as he thinks of his father's words. He remembers that fear is not real and it is only in his head. Just then, the creature walks right past Kitai, unable to detect him. He has removed fear from his mind and is now able to gauge the creature. Using this newfound courage, Kitai kills the creature easily. He then uses the beacon to send signals to the rescue team. In the next scene, Kitai is on a rescue ship. He walks forward as everyone watches him in appreciation. Cypher lies on the bed being treated for his injuries. After seeing his son, he makes the rangers stand him up, hug him, and ship takes and salutes Kitai in a true ranger fashion. This movie ends off the father and son hug each other and ship takes off for a Nova Prime. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.